is the editor and owner of Weasel Press, and he's got many publications. He's also got some here for sale if you want to take a look. He even has David Cowan's book, copies of Vagabonds. Anyway, I don't have his bio offhand. I managed to forget that. But we're going to go forward with Weasel here. Please welcome him with applause.
I know, right?
No pressure, though.
No pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
Hey, Weasel!
Hooah!
Well, my partner in crime forgot to step up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's real nice. Real nice.
All right. So we're gonna do a piece together real quick. I am not responsible for what happens during this piece. If demons or the ground starts crackling, not responsible. I have a terrible singing voice, and I've been trying to hide it for a long time.
Keep away from the glass.
Yeah, but he has told me to do this, so peer pressure for the win.
I told you. Yeah.
Well, they say, never trust the man in black.
Shot.
All right. This piece is called Falling Among Stars. We never danced along her waters. We never smiled among her tears. Trickling down, our footsteps totter. Stairs between her stars. You split my heart right from the start. You catch as I'm falling down her shores, afraid. Here whispering in your ear. Here whispering in your ear. There's an apology sitting along the footsteps of my spine. Its words make their home in my veins, sprouting roots to paper in hopes that it will one day mingle with your blood, that it will one day light itself on fire to stimulate the poetry that's been lost between the silos of your ribcage. You dripped morphine into your flesh, told me that it kept you alive, that it kept the sun from burning your skin. I watched as roadmaps in your eyes slowly diminished, vagabond roads turning to shattered alleyways in the rain. Fears subsided into the abyss with each muzzling shot. You stared at the moon, asked me about the waters along her surface and the stars that were sprawled among the background, and all I could tell you was that they were simply her oceans, escaping the craters that lay naked above us. How I wish I could squeeze the venom from your body, hanging you along the clothesline and watch you come back anew. But I'm simply human. I could only wrap myself around you like weeds in hopes that you were sober enough from following the ghosts in the skies. But you were already there, lingering like cigarette smoke, drifting with the clouds. Thank you. You got your sheet? No. Okay. There you go. Sorry.
That's fine.
Alright. Zach's gonna help me out with one more piece. Don't worry, we ain't gonna sing. That's done. This is called The Long Road. It's so amusing how we use God for our hatred. How we tie his hands to his mouth so that we can speak through him, using misinterpreted scriptures to back the fears of the gays, messing up the values we've worked so hard to instill in ourselves.
9 out of 10 LGBTQ youth report being harassed at school. LGBTQ youth are 4 times more likely to commit suicide, and the chances only increase each time they are victimized.
When I went to school, I had to drape my skin over my bones, choke through typical conversations, never fully comfortable with how it felt to move in my flesh, always stuffing cotton balls in my heart to keep it from feeling what's right.
There are laws being built around bigotry, laws that slowly silence the growing belief that all love is right. They carpet bomb prayers into our hearts to help widen the gap between society and lepers. These people want bullets to the head. They want religious freedom to draw blood and purify the ground the animals walk on.
The first time I held my boyfriend's hand in public, I caught their disgust around us. Pacifists shooting imaginary bullets through our palms as if we were the next big terrorist. It only made me grip tighter to show that we are not warriors snapping necks of their children's innocent life, that God's forgotten anger had not erupted from the ground, but they believe he's looming out there, somewhere. I can't speak for that guy, but I do know that paranoia works best when it's been brewing for a couple of ages, scuffing up the air like burnt coffee on a bad morning. Bad air makes for luxuries we can't afford, but someday we won't have to scar our bodies to buy them. Thank you. I'm doing this tonight to help promote a book that's going to be coming out in the summer, around early July. The book's called The Hell Inside Us, and it was picked up by Earl of Plaid Press. I was really happy that they picked it up because it's a very personal book dealing with a lot of LGBT discrimination, a lot of hardship, a lot of things that people can relate to, and I'll be very happy to have that released. I have some chapbooks here tonight to help promote the release called Limits of Control. You can buy one or you can grab one for me. They're really just donation-based to help with the printing costs of this book because we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. But I'm happy to give one for free if you guys are interested. But before I can move any further with this set list, I have to give you my philosophy. Because you won't really understand what's going on until you're here. My philosophy is this: Piggly, wiggly, squiggly, winks. What an odd combination of words. I doubt any of you can tell me what it means, and before you jump out of your chair in enlightenment, let me tell you, yeah, I know what it means. I know what it means because I'm the one that gave it meaning. That guy that took pen to paper and said that these words were as holy as the Bible itself. No offense. Great Jesus, piggly, wiggly, squiggly, winks. You see, we toss words like knives, expect our skin to get thicker, but our skin isn't hard enough to keep us from going over the edge. When I was first called a faggot, I felt every letter. That T was the first flesh wound draped across my cheek. I was less of a man, more of a wandering skin suit dancing panic attacks in the hallways to keep safe. I remember the cigarette burns on the floors, unanswered prayers, the ambience of our patience. Pickle flop, pickle drop, pickle stop, nothing. Now, I know you all have questions. It's why you're looking at me like I'm crazy. But it's not crazy to believe that we all here collect words. It's just the meanings are from an entirely different universe. This next one is titled, We Are Not the End of a Movie. It's about this guy I met up in Michigan. When my plane took off into the sky, there was no camera behind me. No fade to black, no credits rolling up to show us the parts we played in each other's lives. Only left with the drifting delirium that you lured me into. Writing apocryphal manuscripts with broken typewriter keys, typesetting unanswered emergencies like the night you huddled against me. Remember how your body quaked from the cold as we watched ghosts dance around our window with you singing melancholic love songs with dreams between the notes. The next morning, we shared our coffee in silence. Shadows intertwining in the sun as we tried to shake the break of character we exposed each other to, lost in the sacrifice we could not make, but were ready to return to anarchy the same damn night. We were like children, enamored at the idea of attachments to each other, afraid of how easily we would break. Fragile arms holding our names, letters twisting between our fingers as we moved further into the snow. The cold warming us back from our addictions. Ashamed as I am to say, it took years for me to realize that we're not the end of a movie. So I took my typewriter and tossed it out into the lawn and set it on fire, frustrated with the fact that it could only type your name, little pieces of yourself engraved in slivers of burning paper. This poem is an apology letter to the both of us for how far I allowed it to go. And though I have forgotten how you look, my body still trembles when I remember your taste. Thank you. One of the things that I do, and I really enjoy doing it, is I manage Weasel Press. And we have just welcomed in 7 new authors this year, leaving us with 17 authors total. We did 10 books last year, and we're probably going to hit about 10, maybe 15 books this year. A lot of time and a lot of effort, and we're doing a lot of experimentation, but I'm really loving it, and we have a great slew of people coming in. Earlier this year, we welcomed Z.M. Wise to be one of our editors, as well as he released a book with us, which I don't have, but I'm a bad publisher for not having it. But I'm sure Mr. Wise has several copies on hand. If not,
He provides.
Okay. If not, he's a bad author too.
Shut up.
But yes, so we welcome Mr. Wise. We got a lot of other people coming in. I'm very excited to say we got Chuck Taylor, who's going to be publishing with us, who manages Slew Press. We'll be releasing his book in July, and a lot of other projects that are going on. We have pamphlets here. Give them out freely. Gives you our release dates, authors, what we've released, where you can buy it, all that kind of information, including our website. Next piece I'm going to read is called These Things Will Pass. My father told me that he didn't recognize faggots as people, that animals have to pray to find forgiveness. So each night I wrote my prayers in a notebook, ripped them out, and allowed the words to scar my insides. I was told that if he sat still long enough, the ink would heal all wounds. It only made me sick, only made me break the towers which I forced my arms to build, realizing that we have all forgotten our God. We allow our hearts to be filled with pistols and brimstone, shooting the doves inside all of our children. Innocence is a doctrine burned from our bodies. Dreaming is a forgotten luxury, the soft persuasion that understands our wounds, that understood the cuts inside us when absolution never came. At night, I pull words from my veins, lay them out like body bags on the ground, allowed them to spread roots in the dirt, my own scripture singed to the grass. These words are my ghost, painted doors etched upon their chests, not ready to reveal how desolate they become. The remnants of their sins still stuck in the silos of their broken throats. The stars we sit beneath are the labyrinths to our dreams, reminders that paper-cut wounds are not scars, that these wavering prayers shall pass. Thank you. This next one is in my book called Ashes to Burn. It's not really a themed book, but it's a collection of poetry and prose that has a lot of different things. It sort of shows you progression. I have one copy available with me tonight if anyone's interested in that. You can find it through transcendentzeropress.org. I'm very thankful that those guys have taken that book on. It's about 5 years in the making. But this is called To too many cigarettes to burn. Some nights, I dream too much. And though sleep is good for the soul, the heart collects dust as it pulsates against the earth of your skin. Let their fingers touch it lightly, as if God were creating Adam all over again. Make it feel holy. Content is not enough. It wants to be alive, but the heart has burned one too many cigarettes to dream about the regret. There are days where it moans and bitches about the cold, but our feet can only feel the sizzling asphalt, knowing that it was no hotter than it was yesterday. There's so much dirt around it, growing fierce with the grass and staring at the sky's belly, how it stretches for miles. I wrote about these scars one day. They were always like snow, disappearing after warm winters had set in. The nicotine keeps coming back, and it just makes one more hit for the holiness to leave again. Sorrow was never its anthem, but neither was Amazing Grace, though when grace did come to comfort, she left more than a burning dove on the doorstep. The heart has never earned the right to regret anything in its life, nor even has it earned the right to sorrow. Grace came to visit one night. She soothed it the best she could before she left. Again. She mixed words with songs, brought back life, and as she vanished into the soil, she left on the doorstep another cigarette to burn out. This is also in that collection, Ashes to Burn, but I didn't give a title to it. It didn't really need a title. It's called Untitled. I laid on my pen last night. Its tip pierced my cheek and spoiled my tongue so that I may never drink. My body has never experienced a drought so calm. She laid her fingers against me, her leaves peeling back the skin to see how the blue spread in my blood and out of my nails. They were never able to grasp her branches, heavy as they sprawled from her back. Pears will never grow this season, as all her eyes could say as the orange glowed against the temptation. Her branches walked out of hell alive. Heaven was never meant for her hulky eyes. Daggers from her branches mended with the roads in my skin. Each mile a new stretch of life. The ink never settled. It only quivered as it experienced what spring can never feel. Thank you. Now I get to do some new stuff. This is going to be in the collection. The collection is called The Hell Inside Us, and this one here is called Adam. My notebook is the name of every dude I ever chased, slowly diminishing, turning rational thinking into typewriter bullets about getting close to living, putting horses to rest after running them dry. Pages filled with stuffed paranoia, making the ground harder when you fall face first. But bruises are just a sign of bravery, wounds from chances you invested time in. Sometimes it pays to get a little messed up. There's poetry inside us all. Crack open your ribcage and strike a match against your heart. You'll see the caveman drawings tattooed along yourself, early innovations of your story held up and archived in your flesh, letting you know that you still don't know you're amazing, that you can do anything. So I left my prayer beads at the altar of all my midnight exploration, giving thanks to dead stories that they left me with. But there are no mantras for the dead. I still spill ink into them some nights, as they light fuses to shoot rocks through the past, broken muses plaguing 4 a.m. words thrown on the paper, breaking stillness with the calamity and clack, clack, clack of the keyboard, fully automatic words deriving from empty spaces not yet filled in my bones. Burning cigarettes on my forearm, I have named them Adam. Second chance deliriums injected into my veins, we drift apart from each other, though I offer up sacrifices of myself so I can pin my thoughts into him again and again and again, but I am still searching for the crossroads of our story. This one is actually the title of that last collection. It's called Ashes to Burn. And it's about a guy who's no longer with us. Your hands were your eyes, carrying memoir pages like dollar bills in your pocket. They were memories stuck to your limbs, comatose martyrs with poison tattooed on their tongues. How I wish I could swallow their songs. They are the nails I tried to tend as your mind wandered among the clouds. Your world was a metamorphosis that could never bloom. The rust in your dirt preventing new cities from forming in your veins. I only watched as they led you away into the abyss, nicotine branding your palms. You were the temple I could not fix. But I still carry the ashes you rubbed on my forehead when you were sober enough to love. Thank you. We got time for two more?
Go for it.
Go for it. Every poet has to have a poem about their pet, whether alive or dead. It just happens. So this is mine. My dog passed away back in October, and this is called Farewell. Izzy had to bury his dog this morning, forced to watch his friend drip every last breath onto cold concrete, wrapping him in old sewn-up blankets that could barely keep winter at the door, fingers drizzling beads of sweat writhing together like prayer beads, chanting internally, "I love you," as if the inevitable could be put off for one more day. But Izzy doesn't know how to love, would be better off learning to hug oceans of people that slowly bled him dry, bled him to remain still. Unable to give his friend comfort, body quivering at the dying animal, flames pale beneath their skin as they silently say their piece in hopes to meet in another life. My boyfriend wasn't able to make it tonight, but this one is specifically written to him. And this will be the last piece that I've written, or I'm reading. Coming home from Louisiana, he was sexually assaulted at the Greyhound bus station. And this is called "Let the Healing Bleed Through." We send our prayers in hopes the monsters will remain in the shadows, burn our bridges to heaven when they start to swarm around us. I sent them to you that morning. You were coming home. Stuffed them all in a text and let the words ride electric currents so they could get to you. Then he told me he flashed you his penis. You told me about his hands rubbing along your thighs as open fields swam by. You couldn't look at him. Persistence in his voice made your bones tremble. I sat at the other end of the screen, sending more words through stiff keys, fingerprints etching into the keyboard out of anger. Y'all, my fist could shatter mountains. Unscarred knuckles hungered to see teeth plastered into the wall. Instead, they held your hand the whole car ride home. Allowed for stars to form between our fingers, constellations we use to find each other because not all things are burned away at dawn. I drew you closer when we got home. I held you as a lover should so I could help the healing bleed through. Because it takes time for moments to become illusions. The same distance it takes our fingers to reach God's lips when we're desperate, but there is still hope here. And you're worth every new stitch that lays itself along our path. Foreign as it may be, my fingers still know how to return to you when we're lost. Thank you guys for coming out. It's been great.
Thank you, Weasel. That's some very lovely poetry as well as a very good sense of